to lesson 13 of your online English language class. I'm your teacher, Ms. Rabia Javed. In today's lesson, we will be doing a grammar topic, personal pronouns. This is basically going to be a pretext to our main lesson, that is indefinite verbs. Okay. Um, Now, what are personal pronouns? Personal pronouns refer to the person speaking, the person spoken to, and the person, place, or thing spoken about. Jim forgot his hat. We are talking about Jim, who is not present over here, so his is the pronoun that I'm going to use for Jim. Now, we have two types of personal pronouns. We have the subject pronoun and the object pronouns. The subject pronouns are I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they. And object pronouns are me, you, him, her, it, us, you, and them. When I use I as a subject, I will use me as the object, and so on. For him, I'm going to use, for he, I'm going to use him. For she, I'm going to use her. This is something we have previously done since we were young. So this is just a refresher. Subject pronouns. We use subject pronouns as the subject of a verb. I like your dress. You are late. He is my friend. It is raining. She is on a holiday. We live in England. They come from London. Remember, all the words that are in green are your subject pronouns. All the words that are bold and underlined are your verbs. Object pronoun. Remember, oh, one more thing. A subject is the person who is performing the action. The performer of the action is called the subject, and so the pronoun you're going to use for the subject will be called the subject pronoun. Then the object pronoun. What is an object? The object is the person that receives the action. The action is the verb. We use object pronouns as the object of a verb. Can you help me, please? You is the subject. Help whom? Help me, please. I can see you. She doesn't like him. I saw her in town today. We saw them in town yesterday, but they didn't see us. Over here, me, you, him, her, them, and us are object pronouns. Again, the words in bold and underlined are all verbs. The second way how object pronouns are used are after prepositions. She is waiting. She is waiting for me. For is the preposition, and then comes the object pronoun. I'll get it for you. Give it to him. Why are you looking at her? Don't take it from us. I'll speak to them. Again, the words in blue are your object pronouns. The word in bold are your prepositions. Now, he, she, and they. We use he, him to refer to men and she, her to refer to women. When we are not sure if we are talking about a man or a woman, we use they or them. This is Jack. He's my brother. I don't think you have met him. This is Angela. She's my sister. Have you met her before? You could go to a doctor. They might help you. That is whether we don't know whether the gender of the doctor, so we're using the word they. Talk to a friend. Ask them to help you. Now again, I don't know which friend you're going to go to, whether your friend is going to be a male or a female. So ask them to help you. You and they. We use you to talk about people in general, including the speaker and the hearer. You can buy this book everywhere. That is, this book is on sale everywhere. You can't park here. Parking is not allowed here. This is not specifically for the person I'm speaking to. This is for people in general. We use they and them to talk about institutions and organizations. They serve they serve good food here. They means the restaurant. Ask them for a cheaper ticket. Them whom? Obviously, you're talking about the ticket. Sorry, ticket. No, the ticket. So them would be the airline. Now, especially what kind of organizations? Especially the government and the authorities. They don't let you smoke in here. They are going to increase taxes. They are building a new motorway. They say it's going to rain tomorrow. It. Now, it is not only used for inanimate objects or for non humans, but sometimes for humans as well. How? Let's see. We use it to talk about ourselves on the phone, for example, on the telephone. Hello, it's George. We use it when other people cannot see us. It's me. It's Mary. When is Mary talking this way? When Mary is knocking on the door. We also use it to talk about other people. When we point people out for the first time, look, it's Paul McCartney. Look, who's that? I think it's John's brother. When we cannot see someone and we ask them for their name. Hello, who is it? Someone answering the phone. When someone is answering the phone, they're going to ask you this way. Hello, who is it? Or simply, who is it? When someone's about to answer the door. Now, here I've given a personal pronoun chart. Pronouns in their subjective form, pronouns in their objective form, pronouns in their possessive form when you want to show possession, and pronouns in their reflexive form. We have done all of this previously since we were little, and specifically these two things when we were in grade 6. So I will not explain them in detail over here right now. They're very self explanatory. Now we're going to come to first person, second person, and third person. First, second, and third person. First, second, and third person are ways of describing points of view. First person is the I and we perspective. Second person is the you perspective. Third person is the he, she, it, they perspective. First person, when we talk about ourselves and our opinion and the things that happen to us, we generally speak in the first person. The biggest clue that a sentence is written in the first person is the use of first person pronouns. In the first sentence of this paragraph, the pronoun appears in bold text. We have, see, you must have seen how I have bolded out all the first person pronouns. We, us, our, and ourselves are all first person pronouns. Specifically, they are plural first person pronouns. The singular first person pronouns include I, me, my, mine, and myself. For example, I think I lost my wallet. I can't find it anywhere. Oh, I could kick myself. We could do ourselves a favor and make a reservation for our group. Now, many stories and novels are written in the first person point of view. In this kind of narrative, you are inside a character's head, watching the story unfold through the character's eyes. When I wake up, the other side of the bed is cold. This is from The Hunger Games. Second person point of view. The second person point of view belongs to the person or people being addressed. This is the you perspective. Once again, the biggest indicator of the second person is the use of second person pronouns. Obviously, you, your, yours, yourself, yourselves. You can wait in here and make yourself at home. You should be proud of yourselves for finishing this enormous project. Now, stories and novels written in the second person exist, but they are much rarer than narratives written from a first or third person perspective. Now, the example I've chosen over here is from Bright Lights, Big City by Jay McClerney. And here it goes. You are not the kind of guy who would be at a place like this at this time of the morning. But here you are, and you cannot say that the terrain is entirely unfamiliar, although the details are fuzzy. Now we come to the third person point of view. The third person point of view belongs to the person or people being talked about. The third person pronouns include he, him, his, himself, she, her, herself, hers, herself, it, its, itself, they, them, their, theirs, and themselves. Tiffany used her prize money from the science fair to buy herself a new microscope. The concert goers roared their approval when they realized they'd been getting an encore. Third person point of view. You can't always rely on pronouns to tell you the perspective of a sentence. Not all sentences include pronouns, especially at the third person. Sometimes we do not the we sometimes we do not use the pronoun. Instead, we make use of the noun itself. Mike always hated school. If you look at this sentence and think, I'm not Mike, you can eliminate the first person. You can also think, I'm not talking to Mike, so that eliminates the second person. So you're left with the third person. So Mike is third person pronoun. Third person point of view. Plenty of stories and novels are written in the third person. In this type of story, a disembodied narrator describes what the characters do and what happens to them. You don't see directly through a character's eyes as you do in a first person narrative, but often the narrator describes the main character's thoughts and feelings about what's going on. Sam Wimes sighed when he heard the scream, but he finished shaving before he did anything about it. This is from The Night Watch by Terry Pratchett. Now, speaking in the third person, most of the time when people talk about themselves, they speak in the first person. It would certainly be eccentric to talk about yourself in the third person all the time, but you may do it once in a while for comedic effect or to grab someone's attention. Let's get sushi for lunch. It's Jeff's favorite. No, Jeff hates sushi. I think he'd rather get burritos. Jeff. Does Jeff get a vote? Wrap up. Now, I'm going to wrap everything up. Personal pronouns are used in place of nouns. We often use them to refer back to people and things that we have already identified. Personal pronouns may refer to objects, animals, or people. Personal pronouns can be subject pronouns or object pronouns. Subject pronouns are used as the subject of a sentence. Tom is a student. He studies English. Now, over here, I've given you a chart of the first, second, and third person in singular and in plural. Look at it carefully and observe. Object pronouns are used as the object of a sentence. Look at me. Subject now over here again I've given you a chart. The same pronouns are that I gave you the same subject pronouns. Their object pronouns are given right in front of them. I would like you to pause the video and observe. Wrap up. Okay, we use object pronouns in two ways. Number one, as the object of a verb. Henry is chasing a cat. He can't catch it. And after prepositions, why are you looking at her? Again, here is the same pronoun chart with all 5 types of pronouns and their first, second, and third person in their singular and plural forms. I'd like you to pause the video and study all of this carefully. With that, we come to the end of our lesson. Thank you very much and stay safe.